Yeah, we're a bit late this morning. We had a bit of technical problems. Actually, we still have the technical problems. But yeah, this is what happens when you do an outside broadcast. This morning, we all live from Gisborne. It's a lovely, let me see, 4 degrees down here in Gisborne. Somewhere along the line, the laptop I normally use has conked out and has decided not to give us um, any voice. So we've got a voice problem on the laptop. But yeah, this morning we're talking to something that has really hit the newspapers this, I would say, this week basically. And this is we're talking to Mondelea. Mondelea has been declared too fat by Immigration New Zealand. So, Mondelea, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm very good, thank you. And you?
How is your spirits this morning?
Good. Very tired. Didn't sleep much with my little one, but yeah, good. Still in the fighting
I'm sorry,
spirit.
we didn't have a time to chat to each other before the show. That's sorry
okay.
about that. But yeah, so we're going to do it a bit blindly this morning.
That's fine.
We're starting to hear each other. So, all right, let's see how we go. When did you come to New Zealand?
We came here in July 2018 from South Africa, and my husband already secured his job in South Africa. And when he basically arrived, he basically started work immediately. And I just took some time to settle the kids and settle everyone. And then I immediately got a job in October as a temp, and then after that, a permanent role.
Okay. Yeah. And when you started the whole process of coming to New Zealand, was it in the back of the mind that you want to live here permanently?
Absolutely. I think that's anyone's idea. When you leave South Africa, you're going to come here and you're not going to go back. You say your goodbyes and you know you're not going to see your family again, or you don't know when you're going to see them again.
The current problem that you are facing is your weight.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So when you left South Africa, did you weigh less or did you weigh about the same?
No, I actually weighed more. I was actually 150 kgs when I went for my medicals. And I still said to my husband, oh my gosh, I need to do something. And the plan was, obviously, when we move to New Zealand, we're going to start life fresh and new, and we're going to change everything. And you'd obviously do a lot of research about New Zealand. But as I said, the reality of being here is nothing that the research has ever told you. So obviously moving here, it actually, my weight didn't increase. It did decrease a bit. But yes, I was actually way bigger.
Okay. Did the time when you weighed 150 kgs at the medical center, did they give you any indication that you won't be allowed in New Zealand?
Not at all. Not at all. They granted my visa, my work visa, with no problem. Never, ever was there indication that my BMI was going to be a problem. I have heard stories about it, but I mean, they didn't say anything. So you assume, okay, you're all good.
Okay. So when did this become a problem?
So we submitted our residency in September 2019 after a battle with our birth certificates, because South Africa's birth certificates process. Anyway, so we submitted in 2019 and we heard back from immigration. I got a timeline actually written down more or less, so I'll just quickly open that one. So they came back on the 18th of May. They wanted a bit more reports and stuff. And then on the 18th of June, they said they needed updated clinical notes from a specialist. Okay. And after that, they said on the 23rd of the 7th. So that was the 23rd of July. They gave me 3 months to lose significant weight. That was the deal, basically.
If I may ask, why did they need notes from the specialist?
So I think it's because of my BMI and my previous history of obesity-related issues. But as so many people have already said, having a gallbladder removed doesn't mean it's obesity related. It's there's other reasons why there is that could happen. I mean, I say to someone, I remember when I went for my gallbladder removal, the lady that was opposite me was a 21-year-old. I was 27 at the time, and she wasn't obese at all. So there was actually someone on the Ryan talk show that called in to say that it's actually because of processed foods that we eat, and it's not obesity related. But like my father always say, if you go to the doctor and you're not even a smoker and you have a packet of cigarettes in your pocket and you have a cough, it's going to be blamed on the cigarettes, no matter if you smoke or not. So that's kind of what happens when you're obese.
All right. So you had your gallbladder removed.
Yes.
But I mean, do you still have problems with that?
Sorry, I didn't hear that question. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Do you still have problems with your gallbladder?
No, because it's removed, so I don't have any issues with that at all.
So there's
My health is
ongoing
good.
concerns regarding that.
No, not at all. So basically, it's done and dusted. The only thing that happens is from time to time I need to be on like omeprazole or something like that, but that's not something that I really take. I should actually take it every day, but I don't because I don't need it. But yeah, it's not a big issue for me. It's not a big issue. It doesn't affect my life. It doesn't affect my ability to do things. Yeah.
I've got a reason why I am overweight. That is New Zealand pies.
Yes, the pies and the donuts.
What have you tried to do to bring your weight down?
So basically what happened was, and I really want to say first before I start with telling my story about my journey, so many people have reached out, and I'm really thankful for everyone's advice. I was overwhelmed with the response that I got from people. But I think what a lot of people didn't understand was that I have made the changes. So in June last year, I took my first step of making healthier life choices. And I have been through yo-yo diets in my life because I've always been big. So I've been through yo-yo diets, and I wanted to do something that's going to be sustainable for me in the long run. And I started by just taking out everything in my pantry that was unhealthy and just kind of did a clean out, and then started eating more healthy. And then immigration came and they said, oh, sorry, not acceptable health. We defer you for 3 months. So I'm already in the process of trying to lose weight. It's already in my mind. I'm already going for this process. And then this added stresses come onto you. So they give you 3 months. And I asked my case officer, so how much do I need to lose? So she says, in this case, we cannot advise you. And I'm like, okay, so what do you want to do now?
And this is your case officer from immigration?
From immigration, yeah. So at the time, we only had the immigration. We didn't have a lawyer at that stage. So I was really gutted because I thought, okay, what do I do now? So do I opt for the option of losing a significant amount of weight in 3 months, or do I go for the healthier option? So I spoke to my doctor and I said to him, listen, I've got this option going on. Yeah. What do I do? Like, what can I do to lose all this weight in 3 months? He says to me, you can't. I'm like, I know, but I need to do something. So basically what I did was I went to see a nutritionist, and I've also got a personal trainer or a physio. I cannot pronounce that name, but anyway, he's basically a personal trainer, but he also helps with meal preps and all the rest. So I started in August. We basically went for a walk with the family the one day, and I just heard this voice said, "This is my journey." And I said to my husband, I'm not sure, is this going to be my book title? I started my own Facebook page called This Is My Journey, where I actually explained what I've been doing, or how I'm going to lose weight, or how I'm going to try and lose weight. Not because I wanted to impress immigration. This was for myself. So went to do the 3 months thing. I lost about 15.5 Ks, and went back to the doctor for new medical, and immigration wanted more blood results, and I think I went for tests about three times, and constantly reports, and it was just not accepted anyway. Then they came back to us and they said, sorry, not acceptable health. I've already lost 15 kg in 3 months, which is more than a healthy weight or sustainable weight to lose.
That's 5 kgs a month.
Exactly. So that basically comes down to about a 1 kg a week, which is a healthy way to lose weight. So you can keep it off for later stages. And I am a pro in that now. So being there, done the whole everything in my life, I've been there. And that was one of the things that I think as women, especially, we don't want to talk about weight. And what is the one thing that people struggle with the most is weight. It doesn't matter if you're obese or not. There's so many people that struggle with body dysmorphia. There's so many things out there. So I just thought I want to be a little bit of a positive vibe in people's lives. So yeah.
How much weight do you feel you need to lose?
Well, they still haven't told me. So basically, after I've lost my 15 kgs, I still went on with my eating clean and all the rest. Meal prep was absolutely my go-to thing to do. Love my meal prepping. I'm still doing that from time to time. Otherwise, yeah. So anyway, I have my own regime that goes on. So basically, after that, they came back to us in November. And they said, no, sorry, the 15 kgs is still not good enough. So you can now apply for medical waiver. So after very long consideration, are we going to apply for this medical waiver on our own, or are we just going to seek advice now? Because you don't want to waste money being already in a situation that we don't have like an extra savings account just piling up. We kind of thought, okay, let's see if we're going to do this. So I contacted a known immigration lawyer that's really good with medical waivers. And she said to me, well, we can take your case. It's going to be on the heavy, it's going to be a difficult one. So you might pay a bit more. And that cost us $7,500. And yep, so for medical waiver. And after all this, losing 22 Ks, after everything, immigration comes back and says, sorry, you're not of acceptable health standard, and your BMI is still too high, although it's still going down. And to me, that is just, I don't understand that. What do they want from me?
You went from 150 kgs, lost 22,
yeah,
paid $7,000 to an immigration lawyer.
Yes. Lawyers,
They still said no.
Yep, exactly.
And at this stage, they haven't given you a target. They haven't said.
No, they haven't said anything about that.
This.
That's my point. Never was there, okay, we need your BMI to be under 35. Well, I think that's kind of what they were kind of wanting to do. But I think overall, in general, it's not a fair thing to do, because they say that I'm going to be a liability for the public health system, which I don't think is fair. I work in New Zealand. I pay my taxes. I've got my own medical insurance or health insurance. I just don't see and I'm not dismissing INZ's procedures at all. People have to understand that I'm not dismissing that. But I do think, in general, a lot of people are suffering in silence. I know what I've been through, and I know how difficult this process was, or still is.
What I can hear you telling me is it would have been easier if you had a target. Is that right?
Absolutely. Well, I think even if I had a target, I think it must still be a doable target. You can't just set a target for someone to say, oh, you have to lose 30 Ks in a month. I heard a very horror story about someone last night that contacted me because I asked people to actually give me their stories. And I was absolutely, my heart. She actually went and she quit her job, did 4 hours in the gym every day. She literally had only 300 calories a day and ended up with heart and kidney failure, but got her permanent residency in the end. And I just think, why? Why do we have to suffer? And I just don't think that's right. That's
And let's face
my
it, it's not a good thing to be overweight on the one side.
absolutely yes, and that I
Background
absolutely
is
agree with.
insurance. I'm not a medical doctor, but
Yes,
being
of course,
overweight is just as
yes,
bad as being underweight.
absolutely, and that's the
So to
thing. I
lose
mean,
a
there's
large
a
amount of
lot of
weight in one fell swoop won't work, really.
exactly, and also a lot of people think when you're obese, oh, you're gonna be a burden. But I know of so many people that is not obese, but they are a burden. It's just a thing about you have to weigh up what is going to be really important. And it's a difficult situation, and I understand they have a difficult job in the end of the day. But it's still you have to. I don't know. It's just not fair on people. I think it's not
Mondelea,
fair.
at this current stage, we have a heap of um, a heap of questions. Are
Oh,
you
cool.
ready to
Yes.
answer some
Yeah,
questions?
absolutely. Yes.
On the one side, some of the questions I'll display on the screen, and some of them I'll have to read to you because our
Yeah.
system this morning is a bit wonky.
Yeah.
So, from the one side, coming a question from Mariska Nell asking, I do have a question. The articles mentioned tension headaches. Was that due to overweight or other medical issues?
I don't think tension headaches got anything to do with overweight in general. I think anyone can get tension headaches. I would put that as stress from immigration, definitely.
Tension headache. I fully understand it.
Yeah.
Another one saying, great on losing the weight. Another one saying, hat off to you for losing 15 kgs in 3 months.
Thank
And
you
let's
very
put
much.
somebody to say, what a Monday. Good morning. Hi, Mandela, did you seek to get a medical waiver? Sorry,
Mandela, yeah, that's
but
that's
we
definitely
misspelled it.
that's okay. I will take that one. Well, yes, that was basically our process. Now the last one was our medical waiver process, and that one was declined. So now we have the option to go to the tribunal, and that will cost us $700. And because our visas were running out as well, and going to apply for our whole family's visas, well, I have done everything now, but it's just ridiculous for me. If I think, to be honest and fair, I think they should have that tribunal as free of charge for people, because you're already in New Zealand, and it's so much money that you constantly have to dig out for visas and police clearances and everything else. And I understand that's part of the process, but it's just make it a bit more manageable for people. That's what I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another question reading, Mondelea, are there any underlying health issues beside your health?
I don't have diabetes. I don't have high blood pressure. I don't have any other health issues that could potentially be health risk to them. So no.
All right. Let's quickly recap this for some people. You weigh 150 kgs. You had your gallbladder removed way down the line.
Yes,
Not
exactly.
now.
27. Yep. No, not now. 27.
Got no current problems with your gallbladder at all.
No, no.
Because that's
It's non-existing.
the problems. You got tension headaches, but probably from immigration. I mean, I think everybody will have tension headaches from immigration.
Exactly.
You've lost 22 kgs, and there's no real answer to the fact to how much must I lose.
Exactly.
That's a big problem this morning. Okay. What questions was there? I've been through the same when immigrating, and they wanted my BMI under 39. I don't know who wrote that, but that's good. So,
yeah, and
did
that's
they
kind
give
of
you a BMI?
no, never ever. Not. I've actually read through most of my documents last night, just going back to everything and just making sure that I haven't missed something. But going back to every single document, it was constantly referred back to my BMI. It was never about anything else, and just my obesity related illnesses that I had. So it was just, I think, because even the immigration lawyer that I spoke to, when she came back to me regarding the weight loss, she said to me, oh, sorry, not the weight loss, regarding the medical waiver, she said to me, the only way I see this problem being solved is if you lose the weight. And I was, what? What do you want me to do? I am busy losing the weight. What else should I do? Do you want me to die in the process? So
That's a. I just saying. Also, think this is unacceptable. I just want to make it clear this morning. We're not out here to name and shame immigration. We're here to tackle a problem that's not. That doesn't make you unique. You aren't the first person in New Zealand that was told I'm too fat. So
exactly, yep, and that's a sad part of it because we've read about I think his name was can't remember his name, but his article was in 2015. I've actually been speaking to a lady. She's not from South Africa, but she's from the USA. She immigrated to New Zealand, or her case was about in 2010, and her BMI was also quite high, over 60. And she took them on, and she actually says if it wasn't for her wealth, she wouldn't have been able to stay in New Zealand because she could get the best lawyers to fight her case. And I'm meeting with her next week because she knows obviously more than me about the fighting process. She's got a doctorate in some degree about bodies, and she's basically all for being fat, and I love that. So I mean, as I said, I can understand. I don't want to be fat my whole life. I am working towards my bikini body, and then I want to send immigration by permanent residency. I want to send them a beautiful photo of myself. So yeah.
There's a question from Bianca Cummings. She says, "Hi, Jan and Mondelea. When we did our medicals in South Africa in 2019, the doctor who did it has been in New Zealand's panel for many years. And he explained that BMI 35 and under is considered safe for NZ immigration. If this can maybe help, I'm not sure if this is still in place as everything changes constantly, but yes, I feel your tension headaches." Thanks.
I love that one. I think in general, that's what I said on my page as well, or on the when I made the comment, is they should have something more in place. So if you do apply for your work visa, and I'm not dismissing what their procedures are, they should just have something like, if your BMI is high, we accept you on this work visa, but by the time you apply for residency, we need you to do this and this and this. Just have a bit of a more structured thing. Speaking to the MP's office the other day, I just realized how, like when I spoke to her, she was really, I could see they had no idea what immigrants are going through, just in general. So I just thought, I know it might not make a difference, but if we can speak up and just go to them and say they are willing to take it to the parliament, why not? I mean, it's not going to change the whole world, I know, but we can at least try. So that's definitely something. I know there's more stories out there, and who knows, we can. I just want this process to be more manageable for most people, because I don't want anyone else to feel they need to be alone through this process. It's hard, and you can't. You don't have family, you don't have support, and then you sit with all these issues inside of you, and you want to burst. So definitely, that's something I feel really strong about.
I've got a question for you. If they told you in 2018, when you received your work visa, and they gave you a letter stating if you ever want to get residence from New Zealand, you would need to weigh this and this amount, or your BMI would need to be this, would that have made a difference?
I think possibly it would, but given the stresses that when you arrive and everything, just in general, your whole life changes. I think it would have possibly been something to focus on a bit more, but we had quite a bit of a difficult time, and I mean, I know most people do when we arrived. So I think that was definitely something that I just pushed aside totally, and we just opted for the easy foods because everyone was working. I was working, and the kids were all over the show, and just trying to figure out our lives. And it was just really hard. But I think in the long run, yes, it would have made a difference. It would give you more of a guideline to actually plan over that time period, your life, kind of.
Yeah. Oh, bro, just giving you the warning. I mean, if you get the warning and you don't heed to that, it's good to come back and say, well, you want to ask on us, and we can't help you.
That's the
But
thing,
to
because now
expect you
to
to
give
lose,
someone 3 months, that's ridiculous. And then not to give them an exact amount, that's ridiculous. You can't expect someone to do that in 3 months. You can. There's a lot of people that did it, but in the long run, I wanted to do the most healthiest way. And my nutritionist kept on telling me, just do what you can. Just take every day as it goes. And like, I want to do this fast. I need to lose this weight. This took me years to have this body. So it's not going to just magically disappear overnight. So I would have loved that. But unfortunately, it's a process. It's definitely a process.
and losing weight is not an easy thing. I
No,
promise you,
if it was easy, everyone would have lost weight like this.
I've been there. I'm struggling to lose the weight that I picked up since I came to New Zealand.
Exactly.
Yes, all health criteria are confidential to INZ. Health and character must be met no matter what.
What do you mean by that? All health criteria are confidential to
Just
INZ.
a comment made by somebody. All health criteria are confidential to INZ. Health and character must be met no matter what. So, all right.
So health and character, that's one of the things they actually mentioned in my report, that my health, I don't need dialysis in the next 5 years. I don't have any infectious diseases. As my doctor's report and my physiologist report says, I'm in good health. They referred back to that, but just weighing at, they said at the end of the report, and the fact that they said they are mindful that my previous yo-yo dieting will not be something that I will keep up. I will basically not keep up my current regime because I will go back to yo-yo dieting. And how can they say that? You know, that's not something. So anyway, meeting all health criteria and confidence, and character, definitely. I have met both.
It's definitely difficult. I mean, to lose weight, especially if you're under stress. Stress is one of those things. You either lose a heck of a lot of weight or you pick up a heck of a lot of weight. There's no way with stress.
There's no way about it. Yep.
Yeah. I'm not making excuses for the fact that you're overweight, but the fact is, there has to be external factors that is extremely hard on anybody's body, not even
absolutely
yours only. So.
Exactly. And I think a lot of people think when you're obese, you only eat oily foods and you only eat all the wrong foods. I haven't been eating the wrong foods in a very long time. And honestly, I have always eaten quite healthy, but I still don't lose weight like a normal person would. But anyway, that being said, I'm also not making excuses. There's also a line of things. I do believe there's a mental it's also a mental and physical thing that you need to work on both in order to lose that weight. And if your mental mindset is constantly under pressure, how do you work on both? So it's a balance that you constantly need to work on. And it is hard, especially if you have that extra pressure.
Mondelea, thanks a lot. Half an hour has come and gone.
Yes, it's amazing.
I'm just going to say goodbye to the people, and then myself and you will have a further chat.
Yes, no problem. Thank you.
Guys, that was Mondelea having a bit of a problem with immigration and the fact that she's overweight. This is probably something that faces all of us on a daily basis. Each have their own fight to fight in this battle to get residence in New Zealand. And it's actually worth it. We wish her the best, and we wish that she loses her weight and keep it down, because that will make life much easier for her, well, health-wise as well. So, all right, until next Thursday, leave you and see you then. Goodbye.